So to be happy and resilience, pay less attention to the outcome and more to who you are, more to what you're doing, more to your intentions. And of those intentions, they say, one of the most important one is the virtue of justice. That justice is extremely important for resilience. You don't have to look any further than Katrina and the lower Ninth Ward to see that when injustice which includes inequality, deprivation of the goods, and a higher cost, that in the Ninth Ward, after many years of injustice, when weather struck, it became a catastrophe. It didn't have to be a catastrophe, but it was a man-made experience because we were living in a world of injustice. And so we may think in our world, hey, I got it. I got what I need, therefore the job is done. I don't think so. I don't think the job is done when you merely get what you need. The job is done when we all get what we need. The previous world was one on accomplishment, on establishing the capacity of the individual, on creating inside your circle what you need to do to be fully accomplished. That was the meme of that era. And the next meme that has come along is one that says, no, it should be on radical equality. It should be on equal justice. And we should be making amends for times in which it wasn't so. This philosophy confronts the other one, and there has been quite a cultural clash because of it. Because of this shift, we recognize some of the weaknesses of this me-only idea of personal accomplishment, pretty much indifferent of the outer world. We can see its faults, but we often fail, those of us who are on the radical equality thing, that we are now saying we're right and you are wrong, and therefore we have put a wall around ourselves, a wall that no longer allows for mutual discourse and complementary philosophy. So there is something to be released from both groups. When we are afraid or are confronted, we have two binary options. One of those options is to fight it, to resist. And that makes sense sometimes. Consider the Europe of Hitler's time. If we had not resisted, the world would have not been a better place, in our opinion, today. It was a mistake. On the other hand, consider what I consider one of America's failings, where we won by resisting in World War II. We lost by resisting in Vietnam. We did not know how to do the other one, which was to accept. And this is true down to the personal level. On the personal level, you have the same binary choices. You can fight it or you can accept it. And I think in certain circumstances, you should fight it. In certain circumstances, you should accept it. Wisdom is knowing which is which. We do not become stronger merely by resistance. We do not find true justice merely by resistance. We must learn also to cooperate. So should you run into someone who just doesn't get it, be gentle. Be kind. I'm very clear that some of the concepts that Stoicism put out there are exactly the same concepts that Jesus put out there. And the one that this strikes me most about is his statement, love your neighbor as yourself. But it's our incumbent responsibility to treat others with the degree of respect and love and honor that we would like to see for ourselves. I believe also that when you are connected to your higher self, when you connect to that part of you which is higher than the body-mind, the divine aspect of yourself, when you connect there, seeing others as self becomes self-evident. It is the way it is. It is not so odd that you would love your neighbor as yourself, or forgive as you would like to be forgiven. Instead, it would be natural. It would be obvious. So spiritual practice is part of the way in which we tap into the higher aspects of ourselves that can see the world from a different perspective. One of generosity, one of mutuality, in which we would of course do justice because we cooperate with ourselves. We are kinder to others. We hope and work toward their success. We love them not because they're good to us, but because they are us. So start with justice toward yourself. Kindness, cooperation toward yourself. Seeing how you are part of the whole. And then extend it to your family. And then extend it to your friends. And to the neutral people that you don't really know. And finally to your enemies. So that in the end, you become a living expression of the divine itself. Where Jesus said, love your enemies. And you can, because you have grown to that level that you recognize that we're all part of the one, and as such deserve love, compassion, and forgiveness.